Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search TalkSport Fan Network.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to another Cherry AM on this Tuesday morning, which is very dull and miserable down here in not so sunny Bournemouth today. How are you doing, Malcolm?
I'm good. I wouldn't say that you're dull and miserable, Craig.
I'm
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, we're going to be about 10 degrees today, but dry, which is the main thing. So
fair enough. That's probably better than what we're going to be, to be honest, because it does look a little bit grey out there. I think it's going to pour down. Before we get into our topic, and it is an interesting topic today, let's say hello to the chat. We've got Mr. Darren Hurst greeting one and all. 25 degree shower or two, possible storm. Wearing shorts and wet legs expected on walk to train. Fair enough, mate. Fair enough.
Perish the thought. Morning, Daz.
Good morning, mate. Hope you're doing well. And 25 degrees, yeah, we'll have some of that, but the rain, yeah, well, we got that anyway, so can't really say much. David DaCosta, he said, good morning, Ollie and old Joe. 17 degrees and heavy rain and storms. It's not Ollie today, but I've stepped in. It was meant to be Ollie, so you will get him back. Don't worry.
Morning, David.
Will come back. Morning, Ollie and Mal, up the cherries. Morning, Chris.
Morning, Chris.
And a good morning to Paul Sant. Hope you're doing well.
Hi, Paul. Hope you're doing well, mate.
And Chris Hubble says good morning to Craig and Mal. There we go. And Darren said it might rain here, but positive it's warm rain. Yeah. Do you know what? It was in Singapore. It was really weird. You know, the rain was just absolutely. It's just different. It's just different to English rain, which is bloody freezing cold. It's, you know, it is that warmer, drizzle.
We love to get on and talk about the weather, don't we, us British?
Yeah, it's like being in a shower.
Don't you start.
It's like being in a shower.
No.
Yeah.
Stop it.
I don't blame me. It was work that put me up in that hotel with the shower that can play anything from YouTube, and instead I decided to listen to you and Ollie talk about AFC Bournemouth, whilst getting ready for the day. So there you go. I tell you what, let's tell everybody the topic today. And the topic today is we wanted to compare Andoni Iraola and what he's done at AFC Bournemouth and Rayo Vallecano and beforehand to other Basque managers out there. Just so everybody is aware, the sort of Basque managers we're talking about is Xabi Alonso, Julian Lopetegui. We're talking about Unai Emery and Mikel Arteta. Those are the core five, really, with Andoni thrown in there as well. So, Malcolm, which one do you want to start off with? Shall we start off with probably the easiest one to talk about, but the one that's been around the longest?
You fire away, mate. You fire away. I mean, you can start with Arteta if you want to.
We could start with Arteta if you would like to.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
why
because
not?
of course he is, and we'll finish off with Unai Emery because we are coming up against him this weekend. But of course, Mikel Arteta, a former player for Arsenal, and we can't forget he actually played more games for Everton than he did for Arsenal.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
But he did make his name at Arsenal, and I think we went straight into the coaching setup there and got the manager's job literally all of 3 years later. Arsenal at the time, when he got that job, of course, there was a little bit of turbulence in between, wasn't there? from Arsene Wenger leaving the club. What did you make when he took over that role?
Well, they were in a transition, weren't they? Obviously, you think about, what
Mm,
Arsene Wenger did at Arsenal. Uh, yeah, I mean, amazing football. You can't really talk about Arsenal without mentioning the untouchables or unbeatables or whatever you like to call them. Absolutely superb. I mean, Arsene Wenger brought so much into the Premier League, different style of football, different philosophy, if you like.
yeah,
Obviously, once his era come to an end, it was going to be very, very big shoes to fill. So, I mean, what Arteta's done, to be honest with you, if you're in charge of one of the bigger clubs in the league, certainly uh, you're going to have pressure and you're going to have
yeah,
expectations. And if you look back over let's go back 3 years to the almost, but not quite. Um, but they stuck with him, which I think is really good.
yeah.
Um, Unfortunately, in this day and age, there is just too much coverage from press,
Hmm.
media, social media, that people sort of basically just jump on the bandwagon, as opposed to, I mean, the real supporters of the clubs. I mean, even they are, I suppose, it's typical North London, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
They have like divided opinions.
Mm,
Same with Spurs. So, I mean, I take my hat off to the guy. He stuck with it. The board has stuck with him. The players have brought everything on board. Yeah, they've had their issues, like every club does. But he's found a way. It's taken him a while, and bearing in mind who he's come up against. He's
agree.
come up against Slot. He's come up against Pep.
Mm,
Through these past seasons, who have really been, monsters of the Premier League as managers. So yeah, really, really good to see him now in a position. I'm not going to say going to win a league, but certainly put in a better challenge,
yeah,
um, to certainly go for it. But then, like with any club, there's going to be parts of a season where things aren't going to quite work, and you're going to have to adapt and change things around a little bit. And that is the important part. Now that you're actually 10 games in, you know what you got, you know your squad. Do they need other players in? I don't think so.
no,
I think, they're a very well balanced side at the moment. And for what he's done, it could have been quite easy that they dismissed him,
mhm,
after, when was it, a season before last or whatever. But they didn't, so kudos. Yeah, he's doing a really fantastic job there. And I like to see these guys showing, what they're capable of doing. It's not just the players on the pitch, but it's, being tactically aware and changing things which us as fans we don't expect.
yeah,
And things come out of the blue and think, crikey, what is he doing here? But that's the beauty of watching football, isn't it? I mean, we get it all the time with Andoni.
hmm,
If we go back to maybe last season, we were looking at some of the starting 11 that we had. Like, crikey, what's he doing here? But there's meaning in their madness, in there always. So, yeah, really top guy. Obviously, wish him success. I wish everybody success because it's the hardest job in the world in
yeah,
football. And I certainly don't get on board with this, like, sack the manager because, things haven't worked out for maybe 3, 4, 5
mm.
games. I don't know what your view is, but yeah, really good guy. Impressive. I mean, he's a good player.
I think
So
Arsenal fans have got to be careful what they wish for because there was a rebuilding job that there. Just looking back to after George Graham, if we could go back that far,
Leaf,
you know, George Graham left
hang on.
Arsenal,
Yeah, carry
and
on.
no, that's all right, Malcolm. George Graham, did a fantastic job there, and then they bought in Bruce Rioch, if I'm correct in thinking. Um, you know, after he got Bolton Wanderers promoted to the Premier League for the first time in, I think it was 25 years. And it didn't work out. And then Arsene Wenger did come in and change the whole philosophy of English football forever.
Yeah,
And it was
absolutely.
amazing. To be honest, to watch it was unbelievable. Growing
Mm.
up, of course, I was only 11 years old. I tell you what, that shows how long ago we're going back here. When Arsene Wenger took over Arsenal, I was only 11 years old. And it was just a style. I'd never seen anything like it before. I'd never seen anything like it before. And he went on that spree. It was always going to be nigh on impossible to complete that. And so it showed. Unai Emery went there, had a season and a half. Probably should have got a little bit longer, to be perfectly honest. But Mikel Arteta has done a fantastic job. Believe it or
Excuse me.
not, he's actually got a higher win rate than Arsene.
Mm. I mean, you going back to George Graham, I remember him playing. That's how old I am.
To be honest, I can't remember him managing. I can actually, just at the very end. I can remember him managing, and he went to Leeds as well, didn't he? Afterwards, if I'm right in thinking.
I can't remember all that way back now. There's just so much has happened over the years with football. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Oh no, he went to Spurs as well. Yeah, I forgot Spurs, but yeah, yeah, a very, very, very interesting, bit of topic of debate, that, to be perfectly honest. But I tell you what, Mikel Arteta, I cannot doubt him. I think he's done a very, very good job at Arsenal,
yeah.
and I think he will continue to do so. When is he going to win something? I think it's probably, this season that he's going to be, you know, Arsenal fans expect it now. Um, but unless the mighty AFC Bournemouth come and take it from him. Just saying. But
Mm.
yeah, I think he's got a very good squad. He's built a very good squad. He knows how that squad runs. And yeah, he surprised me. He surprised me as a manager, because I didn't think as a player that he was going to be as good as he has been.
You can never tell. You can never tell
Mm,
how they transform from being a player. They could be Mr. Average on the football field,
hmm
but they've got that something that they know what is needed. Maybe they haven't got it physically on the football field, but they got the brain and they got the skills to be able to control a group of players and manage it that way. So
mm,
it's a totally different ball game, to be honest here. But having said that, you say about them winning something this season, I think they can.
yeah.
Don't ask me what, but certainly potential is there. And yeah, just good luck to them, really. I'm really impressed with what he's doing.
Yeah.
Really, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, likewise, likewise. And very, very, very impressive manager. But I tell you what, um, let's not go with Xabi Alonso's yet, because he's probably, everybody knows what Xabi Alonso's done. But let's go with Julian Lopetegui, because he's an interesting one. Again, from the same school of thought. Somebody that Mikel Sarri, who I spoke to on this very show a couple of years back now, was discussing. Of course, at that point, he was manager of Wolverhampton Wanderers. Um, and it's kind of fallen off a cliff for him. He is the manager of the Qatar national team, who I understand have now qualified for the World Cup, which, actually, it is. They have qualified after beating the UAE 2-1. So, yeah, Qatar will be at the World Cup.
Qatar,
Lopetegui,
you mean?
Qatar, Qatar,
Yeah.
Qatar. I call it Qatar. I don't know why. I don't know why. I probably did that through the whole of the World Cup. Qatar, Qatar. Yeah, sorry for anybody in Qatar who is watching, and yeah, is offended by me saying it wrong. It's a country actually that I'd quite like to visit at some point in my life because, of course, I've been to the UAE myself. But Lopetegui, what do you make of him and his approach? Because he's been criticised because of how he responded at Wolves. But although, as we can see now, Wolves has always been a bit of a poison chalice for the past couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's only my opinion. Everybody can have their own. He didn't quite cut it in the Premier League, did he?
I don't know. I think the West Ham job that he had. He did make a real bad hash of that. In fact, just having a look at a little stat about that now, he actually broke Lou Macari's record of the fewest matches managed by a Premier League manager since by taking charge of 18, less than Macari's 40. So yeah. Yeah, he didn't do particularly very well. They lost 9 of 20 Premier League games. His time at West Ham, if we skip past that, was not good at all. But I don't think he did badly at Wolves, considering we know now what sort of issues that football club has had.
Wolves, yeah, what can you say about them? Very, very difficult club to manage. And now that they're going through the rigmarole of trying to find a replacement, obviously Gary O'Neill has opted out, which I didn't realise. They're still paying him, I don't know if you read that up this morning or last night, but
I didn't realise that at all, no.
Yeah, which is rather odd. But this comes down to the board, to the owners, and this relationship, isn't it? And it's not just Wolves. There's many. I mean, you can go through them. Issues down the years between owners, board members, and managers. It's not something that is. Let's just say it's not an easy job, is it? They all have to be on board, and I'm sure obviously the owners, they want instant success but never have it. And that's when issues start coming out about what can we change, and they're at loggerheads with each other. And personally speaking, I like the idea that whoever the owner is, and it doesn't matter what club, right, that they take in a manager and say, right, this is what you've got, and you run it. Now, obviously, football has evolved over certainly sort of Premier League times and that, where you've now got sporting directors and they want to have their say that come into play and everything else. And there's just been, I think, too much friction, above management or above the manager's level. And if not everybody's on board, you're not going to have the harmony within the club. I like the owners to say, right, that's yours. You get on and deal with it. You've got our backing, and then take it from there. And there are a lot of clubs that actually do that. The owners, you don't hear from them week in, week out, which is nice. And you got stability. And if you've got stability in a club, it'll run itself. And when issues do come up, it's behind closed doors. You don't need it all out in the open. Sort the problems out. As gentlemen, there's no right way and wrong way to do things, especially if it's behind closed doors, because they can tear lumps off each other or sit down over a glass of wine and discuss things, sensibly.
Agree. Yeah.
Once things come out from that level and it's actually in the media, then that's when your problems start. And there's no going back. There really is no going back. And you've seen this with, come on, let's just throw one in for the sake of it. Daniel Levy at Tottenham.
Yeah.
You know, it was just continuous. He was always in the spotlight. It wasn't about anything else. It was always about the club and then Daniel Levy, what he's doing, what he's not doing, and you know, which is unfortunate, really. You don't need
Everybody
it.
knew who he was, and to be honest, he wanted people to know who he was
I mean,
because
I don't know. I don't know the guy, and I can't comment on that.
no,
You know, so
but that's, from the outside looking in, it was as if he wanted people to acknowledge who he was and what he was doing and how much money he was making for Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. Well, that's all well and good, but you need to put something out on the field, which is going to keep the fans happy. And that's probably, with the expectations Spurs fans have, which are too lofty sometimes, that's not what he was doing. But, Lopetegui, when he did come out with what he said about Wolves, the relationship was gone.
yeah.
Osen, and I don't know if you've
Yes.
seen this trend. I don't know if you've seen this trend, but there was an influx of Chinese owners back in the late tens, mid tens, late tens.
Mm.
There was an influx of Chinese owners because, and I did speak to somebody about this, a guy called Mike Gao, because of the actual laws of getting money out of China being tightened. That has prevented chairmen, like the one at Birmingham, the one at Reading, the one at Wolves, getting money out of China and into the English game.
Did we get to China from Basque managers?
No, no, because what I'm saying is, of course, that's where Lopetegui made those complaints. So at Wolves, um, you know, should he have kept his mouth shut? Should he have left before the season began? He obviously didn't have faith that that club was going to survive that season in the Premier League. He didn't have faith. Um, so that's why he's done what he's done, and then gone to West Ham, where he did have, funds, and then kind of fell apart. But you can see his style, you can see what he was trying to do. But yeah, Wolves was a bit of a poison chalice for him.
He wasn't one of my favourite managers. Let's put it that way. I didn't. For me, whenever I saw him, you know, he didn't exude like confidence and everything. Where you think, right, you know, things are going
Yeah,
to work here. But yeah,
yeah.
it is what it is.
I'll tell you
Um,
what, let's touch on the comments before we go to
Please do. Yeah.
Shauna said 25 degrees or 1 meter deep snow, nothing between I don't like.
Oh, that's all right. Everyone to their own.
There we are. Well, it's not snowing out there, so you're out of luck on that one. Um, Paul Sant said Andoni has done better. The reason is all of the others are at much bigger clubs with bigger financial support. This is something I want to come on to because this is why I think that Andoni Iraola should not even think about going elsewhere, regardless, because he is at a club. He's at a club where he'll get time. He's building something special that has never been done before. This is where Andoni should really stay and build himself up. And yeah, he's a young man. He'll have plenty of time if he wants to go and manage Real Madrid at some point in his career. But the time isn't now. And what he's doing here is something that not many managers, Mal, can put on their CV.
Well, the first thing is, would he want to go to Real Madrid? Does he want to stay in football that long?
I
He's a.
think he probably will do.
I don't think he will. I think at some point he'll turn his back on football and go and have his family life, which is what he
Fair
wants. You know, so I mean that's just my take on it. But we can come back to that in a minute if you want. So
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Um,
hey, Paul
Paul
from
from
Oz.
Oz,
Hi.
morning, all 12 degrees and windy here. Yeah, I don't know what the temperature is out there, but it's not nice today over here. But 12 degrees, windy. Yeah, it sounds like a bit like British weather. Yeah,
Sounds
summer.
almost like Berlin. Oh, we're gonna have 10. There we are. We're gonna have 10 degrees today. So
There we are. Nice AFCB shirt, Mel. Oh, that
Thanks,
is
Chris.
the one from 2018, isn't it? 2018.
I don't know.
The salmon
I can't.
arms.
Craig, I can remember lyrics to songs from the
There
60s,
we are.
but ask me something about 3, 4 years ago, I haven't got a clue.
Yeah, it's like the salmony arms. I think it was classed as it's. I don't know really what color it is. It's like an orange color. I love that shirt.
Yeah,
Love
it is
that shirt.
nice. Yeah.
The only problem with it is the mansion logo seemed to always crack because of how big they were, but
Mm.
and also they were a different sort of plastic at that point.
The important thing is here.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. That's the main thing. And David DaCosta has said Levy was a control freak. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
100%. I'm surprised actually he left. I wouldn't be surprised if he had his fingers in the pie still. Would you?
No, I don't think he will. I think he's now said, right, enough's enough. He's gone. Look, he's got his life,
Mm.
and it doesn't interest me, to be honest with you.
I'll be honest. I'm not. I'm not so sure. I think he probably still wants his finger in some pies at Spurs, and the only way he will properly leave that club is if whoever is taking over actually clears him out for good. I would not be surprised if he's still lurking somewhere. I tell you what, let's get on to Xabi Alonso. And Xabi Alonso's done very, very well since he gave up playing. Of course, a former Liverpool midfielder, very, very, very good player,
Yeah.
absolutely outstanding player. Somebody who I think most people who watch this show will remember. Of course, was part of that Spain team that won the World Cup, and he's gone straight into management. Started off at Real Sociedad, picked up by Leverkusen, won them. Was it their first ever title or the first title for years?
Now you're asking me, but it was. I mean, yes, he won the title. He did the double actually.
Mm,
Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. A brilliant brand of football as well.
mm,
It set the Bundesliga like the way they were playing, and it was great because you always hear Bayern Munich
yeah.
all the time. You know, and even when another team actually takes the title, the Bayern fans will just say, "Oh, we've only loaned it to them for a year, and we'll take it back next year." I mean, if you're a betting man, you could probably put money on Bayern Munich winning every week,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you wouldn't be out of pocket. You won't get good odds, but at least you'll make some profit. Uh, but what Xabi Alonso did, and superb, absolutely superb.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's shown that he's a very good manager, and of course, now the manager of easily the biggest football club on the planet in Real Madrid. You know, I think his career is only going to keep going up and up and up. How long is he going to stay at Real Madrid for? That is the
yeah. I mean,
big question.
that's another thing. The club is just so big, isn't it?
It's got that expectation, hasn't it? It's got that
Always,
expectation.
always,
It's got
always.
to win everything.
Is there a bigger club in the world?
No, no, not
I
in
wouldn't
my
think so.
view. No, for prestige as well, what they've won in the past. Is it the best run club in the world?
Difficult to
Probably not.
say. Difficult to say. Maybe not.
But
They've had their issues as well, haven't they?
yes, yeah, they have. I've got to be honest, I don't like their president, Florentino Perez. Of course, he's the one that keeps trying to start this Super League situation.
Yeah, I mean, what do you expect? They're people totally different caliber, maybe a little touch away from reality.
Mm,
That they got this little bit of fantasy in there.
more money.
Yeah, yeah, of course, money plays a big part.
Mm.
Um, and I'm sure he had something to do with he obviously got connections, you know.
Oh yeah.
But when they mentioned about this, one of the games being played in America, I'm glad that's all been quashed now. To be honest, a league game that is.
Yeah.
Same with the Italian thing. That's been quashed too. Thank goodness.
Mm.
You don't need to be playing in other countries. You see.
Yeah, agree.
Um,
And then all the players turn around, and some of these top players turn around and say, "Look, we're exhausted." Which, don't get me wrong, football is played at such a high
the point,
intensity. They probably
Craig,
are.
the point is they weren't even asked.
No, exactly. What
Mm.
they'll do is, we remember it. I'm sure it's nothing even to do with Eddie Howe. There was the complaints from Newcastle with regards to the FA Cup replays and saying why they should be scrapped and things like that all these years ago. And then, a day after the season's finished, you're getting on a plane to Singapore. Spurs did the same. And it
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
it wasn't to fill Eddie Howe's pockets or the players' pockets. It was to fill Daniel Levy's pockets and the owners at Newcastle. You know, that's what it's all about. And that's why the Super League is such a bad thing. But coming off that, Xabi Alonso has done a fantastic job. He's only lost one game this season. And he's top of the league by 5 points already. There's only 11 games played. But yeah, he has done an absolutely outstanding job. Absolutely outstanding job there because
It's
the
also
play.
interesting to point out his management style as well. It's not just what the guys do on the pitch. Um, he's not afraid to go up against the big players and put them in their places, which is really cool. Nice little article read this week. Sorry, last weekend it was uh, against what's his name, Vinus.
Yes.
That he's being substituted. I mean, he's a bit petulant. I mean, I can understand him
Yeah.
because he's a very passionate player, and like every top pro, they want to play 90 minutes.
Mm,
They don't like being subbed off, and he has been subbed off often recently, and he threatened to leave the club and one thing and another. But I mean, that's Xavi Alonso for you. He will do what's best for the club, for the team.
100%.
And it's knocking these big egos. You've got, it's obviously being the club, the top club in the world.
Mm,
You can have so many eyes on you all the time, but he's not afraid to give it a shot, and I love that about him. It's you could probably say the same with Bellingham. Okay, he's had his issues with injuries, uh, but also he needs to be pulled in a little bit, saying, "Oh, come on, this is your job, and you will do it."
yeah.
And that's what Xabi Alonso expects from his players.
Exactly, exactly. Well, hopefully, and only saying this because of who they're up against next. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, they do get their second defeat of the season this
Well,
weekend.
you can look in the chat now, can't you?
Well, I think, um, to be honest, I think, Xabi Alonso, a great manager, but they are coming up against Rayo Vallecano, of course, Andoni Iraola's former side, who, ever since Andoni joined us, I've taken quite an interest to, and actually a lovely group of fans as well.
Mm.
Let's just quickly jump back into the comments. Levy apparently was meant to be a very nice, friendly person. Yeah.
Doubt it. Don't doubt it.
Yeah, I never come across as as somebody who was dislikable. He never come. I think the Spurs fans were frustrated with him because they dragged. He kind of dragged his feet at certain elements at that football club. So yeah, I think personally, yeah, he always come across as all right. To be fair, very very shrewd with money, very shrewd with money. But you know,
They're businessmen.
yeah, but fans want success on the pitch, don't they? That's what their focus is.
Yeah.
Daniel Levy, I think Spurs, they've built this amazing stadium. It is a lovely stadium. I don't think that they actually went into any debt whatsoever with regards to that.
I mean, I mean, that is one thing he wanted to do, and he saw it through. I mean, I haven't been, but by all accounts, it is very, very impressive. So I did go to the old White Hart Lane many years back.
Yeah.
So hey ho.
Well, Paul Santa said you have to AFC Bournemouth is one of the best run clubs in the world now. I think we are. I think we are. The way we're operating, the way we're managing things. We don't have, and I'll say this now: we don't have a Premier League ground, but it doesn't matter how big your ground is.
It's on its way.
Exactly, exactly. And
Can I jump in here?
go on, go for it.
So yesterday there were two videos, they're both the same, to be honest with you, about the stadium put out on YouTube from different channels. And I thought, what the heck? Sit down and watch it. I mean, it's nothing that we don't know already. But it was all very interesting if I remember rightly, you can quote me if you want to, I'm not bothered. This south stand, which is going to be taken down at the end of this season, so
Yeah.
Tednack, and this new monster being put in place, 90 million. 90 million.
Wow.
Oh, bloody hell. Excuse me, can you drop me out a sec?
Yeah, of course. There we are. Just dropping Malcolm off for a second. Let's just quickly go through the rest of the comments as well. Morning, Craig and Malcolm. Love the AFCB shirt, Malcolm. Good draw for Sunderland, and I hope Trent Alexander-Arnold scores against Liverpool tonight. Yes. I see what you've done there. Doak and Christie got called up for Scotland, and Newcastle got Athletic Club on Wednesday. There we go. I tell you what, let's come on to the other team and the other manager as well, other than Andoni. It's the manager that we're coming up against on Sunday. That is Unai Emery, and of course he's originally from Hondibaria in Gipskoa, which is very, very close to where Andoni Iraola grew up as well. He's been quite a journeyman as a manager. Um, his playing career wasn't particularly the greatest, in all honesty, but what he's done as a manager is very, very, very impressive. Unai Emery.
Point I made earlier, Craig. You don't have to be the best player. You can be Mr. Average on that pitch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wayne
And it's
Rooney,
how you take that. It's how you take that knowledge.
Yes.
Moving forward. Yeah. So
hmm
awesome job at Villa. I mean, was it Sevilla he was at, wasn't he?
He was at Sevilla, went to
And
PSG.
how many times did he win the Europa League?
Wow. It was
It was
crazy.
almost like his trophy, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. And then he nearly did it at Villarreal as well, didn't he?
Super. They didn't start particularly brilliant this season, but when you have 3 games without a win, just as an example, the fingers are always being pointed, and you think, oh, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
They just get on with their job. He knows what needs to be done.
Yeah.
You don't have all those years' experience, and then it just vanishes in a flash. It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
There's reasons behind it, and you have to solve those problems, and that's what you can do.
He did actually do it at Villarreal as well, actually.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that. He did, win them the European Cup. If you can remember, against the Europa League final against Manchester United. It was a penalty shootout, wasn't it, in the end? So
Wasn't there a series of 0-0s between them two?
there wasn't there?
If you look back, I think there was. Yeah,
Yeah,
crazy.
but I tell you what, the Europa League was his tournament. And how he took Aston Villa were in a mess when he took over. Steven Gerrard whatever you can say about Gerrard, I think he probably jumped into it too early.
I
Um,
think so. Yeah.
he just really struggled, just really, really
Mm.
struggled. Unai Emery come in, got them organised, and took them on what was an absolutely unbelievable run. To get them into the Champions League, and of course, he's in Europe again. It seems like it is a regular thing now. It seems like it's a regular thing for Aston Villa, whereas if you go back 6, 7 years ago now, I think it was that they were in the Championship. And
Mm.
there was that threat, wasn't there, under that if they didn't get promoted, they would, have really struggled to get out of there because they were in debt. Um, he's done an absolutely outstanding job. And it will be very interesting to see what he's going to do. Unfortunately, we are coming up against him when I think that they've picked up. I know that they got beat by Liverpool, but that doesn't tell its own story. I think Villa were very, very good at the weekend.
Yeah.
So
It's going to be a close thing. It's always a good game. Villa, Bournemouth. Two brilliant managers, two brilliant minds. You can't predict it. You
no,
really can't predict it. I like the way they play. They're obviously. I mean, they've had players that come into and they've been sort of okay-ish,
mm,
not brilliant, but they play the way that is expected of them in the systems that they play.
yeah,
And then suddenly they shine. You got like, was it Paddy Cash this season?
Matty Cash,
So,
yeah,
yeah, who's turning it on. We know Mid Rogers what he can do.
mm,
McGinn, yeah. There's just so many different parts of their setup. So whether it's midfield, whether it's attack, whether it's defence, when it all gels,
yeah.
they're a really tough nut to crack.
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
You know,
100%. And
you've got a world class goalkeeper as well. Don't get me wrong. I mean, that was a one off against Liverpool. Uh,
yeah,
sorry, but it was.
it
But
was. Yeah,
if you look at the squad that they got, and their starting 11 is going to be pretty decent, to put it
mhm,
mildly. But they are gettable. You can get at them.
yes,
And this is what for me makes the coming weekend the game so interesting. Is that it's like I said, two minds going against one another. Andoni and Emery. So yeah, great. I mean, I love what he's done at Villa. Really massive club. Obviously, one of the oldest in the history of football. Wonderful stadium, passionate fans.
mm,
Um, Yeah, it's an away trip to be had. I've never been, unfortunately,
yeah,
but yeah, it's great, and I like to see Villa sort of definitely top 10. Really chuffed that they're in Europe,
yeah.
which is
He's in the
wonderful
Europa
for
League again as well, isn't he?
yeah.
Who would put it
He,
past him not winning a fifth? He's got the record of four because of course he won three at Sevilla, one at Villarreal, which
yeah,
stupidly I forgot about for a moment. Who would say that he's not going to win one at Aston Villa? I wouldn't put it past him.
yeah, they're gonna. I mean, I'd like to see them do it. To be honest with you, I really would.
Yeah. I think they
Yeah.
deserve it, don't they? They've been through a lot. The Villa fans, they want that little bit of success, and they're a good historical club. I just hope that they don't turn up on Sunday because I think we are catching them at just the wrong time, actually.
Difficult to say. Difficult to say. So obviously they're playing this week in Europe. I don't know who they're up against, but haven't checked it out yet. It's
Mm,
too early on a Tuesday morning for me to look at fixtures.
definitely.
But
I
no,
tell you what, let's bring it back to AFC Bournemouth because, of
that's a
course,
good idea.
we've discussed the 4 other Basque managers, out there. We haven't touched on our own one, who is, I don't think we need to talk too much because I think he's done an absolute unbelievable job. Everybody knows that we absolutely love him. He's got a job for life here, that we're not letting him leave the football club. You know, where does he compare to those sort of managers? And can you see the comparisons between them?
They've all got their own styles, haven't they?
hmm
All right.
I think it stems though, because I know Mikel Xari was saying about, and he gave me that handbook, and it was interesting. It really is, but I think it all stems from that same place. But like you say, carry on, Malcolm. They have got the difference in styles as well, haven't they?
Yeah, it's evolution,
Yeah,
Craig. It's like we all go to the same school, we
yeah,
all learn the same stuff, but it's how you take it on board and move forward. Um, and you can change things. There's nothing wrong with having your own ideas and implementing them, to see if they work. You can fall flat on your face, but you know, the other spin of the coin, it can work.
yes,
And when it does work, you take that on board and use that as one of your little tools in your bag. So all these managers, they've all got this, you
hmm
know. But the ground in, from where they came from, that's all, they've got something in common. They've all got something in common. So, and the fact that they communicate with each other as well, even today, it's really interesting. That it's, I find that really cool.
yes,
That perhaps they don't give too much away, and I'm sure they're very clever at, maybe manipulating a conversation one way or another.
hmm
But no, all very good. There's an interesting point here that Darren's just made up. Roy Smith was my great manager back in my playing days, and used to bring the best out of me. I thought it was Ron. I thought Ron was your best manager or greatest manager. But hey ho, perhaps you can let me know.
But I tell you what, it will be interesting to see Andoni come up against Unai Emery this weekend. I
Yeah,
honestly think that we have got, you know, one of the best young managers in football at this moment in time. You know, there is no reason, like, and it really annoys you. I know it annoys you. There's no reason for him to go absolutely anywhere because he's part of a project here and he's building something that will never be done at any other club. Hey, yeah, you could do it at Manchester United, but Manchester United have got all that history, they've got all that story from beforehand. It'll all merge into one. Whereas AFC Bournemouth haven't got that. You do something, you get us into Europe for the first time. That's it. Your name's in lights forever, isn't it? Here.
I mean, he's already, chalked up 2 seasons where the improvements have been phenomenal.
Mhm.
What can you say? What can you say? He's taken us to another level, but not just him. The club itself, which is what we sort of talked about a little bit earlier, how clubs are being run, um, and the stability that we have.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. Like I said, Bill's given the guys the tools to do the job,
Mhm.
and they're getting on with it. Um, who knows? Who knows where we'll finish up? It's early doors. I say it's only 10 games in, and if it's an improvement on last season, wonderful. I'll take it all day long. I'll take it all day long. Even if it's like maybe 2 positions more or 1 position more or even more points tally.
Mhm.
I'd like to see us with a better goal difference than last season if we can. These are just little statistics at the end of the season which you compare, years down the line. Think, oh, how did we do then? And you
Yeah.
compare the different seasons and you see the improvements. And yeah, it's just a wonderful trip to be on. And only what he brings, just so much, just so much. Obviously, we can talk longer about him. We've got more knowledge about him than we do about other managers because
Exactly.
we're never there in the other clubs. But we can look at them and we got the information online. We can dive into that, and I never like to. I won't say compare. That's wrong, but go into a personal issue with the guys, with the managers. They got their jobs to do. Let them get on and do it. And it's the same with Andoni. Love the guy to bits. Just like to see what he's doing. I'd just leave it at that as a fan. It's what happens on the pitch. And at the end of 90 minutes, what the results are, and see where we're going. So, hey ho, yeah. Happy days. Come on, Darren.
Yes,
Darren he wants to ask a question. I hope it is interesting.
Just whilst we're doing that and waiting for that question.
Good question.
What happened to Matt's 2000 dare? We need to sort that out, actually. I need to get in hold of him, and we need
Bloody hell. I forgot about that.
Yes, for
Thanks, Darren.
subscribers. I tell you what, for 3,000, if we can get up to 3,000, I tell you what I'm going to do.
Don't run away with yourself, Craig. Come on.
I am going to go, and we'll record it all. I'm going to have the hottest curry possible. It's called a fowl, and we're going to go to the Spice of India, and I am going to try and eat that in one go, and without any water or alcohol.
Good luck to you.
Yeah, get up to 3,000, guys, and you can watch that. It'll be sooner rather than later.
Do you know that you shouldn't drink water or something cold when you're having curry?
It's milk, isn't it?
You're close. They say yogurt.
Yogurt? There we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll remember that for next time.
A little...
I think Matt was hoping you forgot about it. Wait for it, guys. Wait for it. Put the toilet roll in the fridge. Oh dear, the ring of fire. Oh
God, we've gone down another level now.
We have. Thanks very much, Darren. And on that bombshell, I think it's been a very, very interesting show. We will be back tomorrow. If you have any ideas for what you want us to talk about, leave it in the comments to this video after we finish. But Malcolm, interesting day today.
Sorry?
Interesting day today.
Hopefully a positive one.
Good.
Yeah. And then
yeah.
We'll see you all tomorrow. Have a good day, everybody in the chat. Thanks for joining us.
Yep, likewise, and yeah, I better go and do some work. So
it's about time, isn't it?
Malcolm? Yeah,
it's about time.
From myself and Malcolm, I'm going to just leave that up on the screen for a little
Up the cherries.
Up the cherries. We'll see you tomorrow, nice and early at 8 a.m. And I haven't been late this time, have I? Haven't been late at all.
Amazing.
I better keep this streak going. See you tomorrow, guys.
Bye.
Oh, that was the wrong button. Look at that. It's like a disco. You can't get the staff nowadays, can you?
TalkSport Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search TalkSport Fan Network.
I should be like you, Melvin.